Greetings, true believers, and welcome once again to the newest episode of the Pull List Podcast, your bi weekly source for comic book discussion, appreciation, adoration, and over budget spending. Uh, I, I am your host for the day, Hector Mirai, filling in lead hosting as Chris Poirier is off somewhere in the bowels of deep Georgia, being a video game mogul. And joining with me today is the always impressive mosaic fan art wielding Todd Turner.
Hello, Hector. Yes, my budget is painful sometimes.
I've just honestly started looking at my comic book budget as I'm supporting local business and this is quality of life, and I'm not even going to look at what it actually, is doing. And I can honestly say I'm just really grateful when a book ends, and I'm like,
I know.
like, phew, thank the Lord. Like, I can legit stop buying that one book.
Yeah, but then that means the problem is that I've already added two in preparation for the one ending.
Yeah, I don't even do that. And like, what I'm really bad about is if I've already crossed that line of
Oh yeah, you got to keep taking it even though it's terrible.
if it's a 6-issue series and I've made it to issue
League.
3.
Yes, I know it.
If I've made it to issue 3 and it's 6 issues, but it's terrible, I have to finish it.
Yeah, too bad.
Tom King's Killing Time.
Oh yeah,
that boy,
it's
howdy.
Heavy.
That
sorry.
That was a steaming floater, man. And
so glad I didn't start collecting that.
I gave it the whole thing away I had a free stuff day recently at my household, and I gave the entire thing away.
Oh,
and
well.
I gave away a bunch of comics, but
you're so sweet. I keep everything.
I can't, man. Like, I'm legitimately, I just got this new Black Adam figure, and I'm giving away 2 Wonder Woman figures just to make room.
Well, that's nice.
They're really cool, like Mohawk Wonder Woman and the Chainsaw Wonder Woman, but it's all good.
The Chainsaw Wonder Woman from Death Metal.
Yeah,
nice. Awesome.
The one I want the most, I don't know if they've made, is the Wonder Woman from Dead Earth, man.
Oh man, with the lasso. Spine. Yeah, weave through Superman's spine. Heck yeah.
I want that. Go. I want
no
that.
Kidding.
But I don't think they've made that. But yeah, I just give stuff away. But anyway, we're here to talk about comics. So that was a long intro, and I'm sure the all-powerful Radio Matt will make it look pretty. But strap yourselves in for We've Got Comic Sign.
Sign.
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son.
Neon glow. So Todd, any big news that's really jumped off at you for comic-ish stuff lately, or?
Well, the one thing that I saw that I'm mildly excited for, a little bit nervous about, is that next year Hickman is doing a new series, and they're just calling it. They're hinting that it's like Marvel's Sandman type thing. So yeah, I just saw that just this week. I guess they're doing a whole lot of stuff with D23 and all that kind of garbage and stuff. And they're talking about some new comic books that they've got coming out. Of course, they're starting Fantastic Four over. They've got a new creative group for that. They're doing a Submariner. Of course, all these tie-ins for all the movies that are coming out, And but I saw that and I was like, oh, and that's all they said. They didn't give a hint of like what he's, what characters he's dealing with or what it's going to be. And I don't know, it makes me nervous.
Listen, after all of the X-Men stuff, I don't trust anyone with anything.
I dropped the X-Men's after House of X and Powers of X. I just can't follow them, but a lot of people love them.
Do they? Do you know people that personally love them?
I do. Is that a lot? I don't know. That's terrible.
There's a couple hit and miss X thing, and I love the concept of Marauders, but it just kind of started dragging after a while. But I love Kitty Pryde. I think Joss Whedon's X-Men really,
Astonishing X-Men, fantastic.
yeah, I think
Yes.
he made me a diehard Kitty Pryde fan with that book alone.
Oh, when they find Colossus down there in the basement, that
And
was so
he just
great.
runs through her, and she's like,
Yes, I loved it.
"That's such a great book."
So that's all. Other than trailers for upcoming stuff and TV shows that are ongoing. That's all I got for
Um, I
news.
I saw that there was a about to be a McFarlane Capullo Batman Spawn book.
Do you like those type of things?
Depending on the characters, but I mean they ultimately never amount to anything because they're just like a what if type
There'll be
situation.
9,000 covers of issue 1. I'm telling you right now, 9,000. You guys got me so excited because I didn't know that there was going to be a Frank Miller Fantastic Four cover for issue 1 of the new Fantastic Four run until I heard it on the pull list. And I went to my local comic book shop and I said, I want that book. And they said, well, too bad because it's a 1 in 400. And I'm like, oh, okay then. The
No,
Frank
but
Miller cover.
you might be able to find it among like bigger shops though.
Hey, yeah,
Um,
I don't know. None of my shops buy 400 copies of Fantastic Four issue. I doubt it'll happen.
you know who you could get though. You could
Oh,
go to
I know. Like
you could go to
Midtown
Midtown,
Comics. I know.
which by the
Yeah.
way, I'm going to Midtown Comics in 2.5 weeks.
Oh, cool. Never been there.
Oh, I went to so I failed at New Yorking because I went one time to New York City for a ministry meeting. Like they wanted us to send college students up there to do summer ministry. And they flew us up to New York. Uh got us there. We sat through 12 hours of meetings. They let us do a little quick tour of the city, and then we were literally back on a plane to go home.
That was
Um,
it.
that was it. And they said, "All right, everybody, pick one thing you want to do." And everybody else, is like, "Oh, Times Square. Oh,
Statue of
this."
Liberty,
And I'm like,
Empire State Building.
Midtown Comics. And that was all I did. I didn't get pizza. I didn't get a bagel. I didn't
You
like
did
do
get to
it.
go there though?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Um,
Good for you.
I did that, and I was like, "Oh, I should have went to 30 Rock. I should have done
Yeah.
like so many other
You
things."
got to have priorities.
So, but yeah, I was like, I just wanted to get something physical from Midtown Comics. But I'm
Yeah.
going back there in 2 weeks to see Almost Famous, the Broadway musical.
Oh, I saw. Yes. I saw you
Yes,
post that on Faith and Fandom. Yeah.
yeah, dude. That was I have turned down every voluntary trip to New York just because it seems like hassle. And like I saw that I could go to opening day, and I'm like, nope. Watcha.
Opening
So
day of the musical? Okay, because when people say opening day, I think baseball, but yeah, but okay, that's awesome.
yeah,
Good
so I'm
deal.
gonna get.
You have a blast.
Yeah, I will.
Taking
And
one
that's
of your kids?
no, nobody cares like I care about that.
Oh,
About nobody. No, it's like that's the thing. Asking anybody else to spend Broadway money, Broadway airfare, just to watch a play that they don't really care about. Nah. It's like, and I don't know of many other humans that are that passionate about that movie.
gotcha.
But I've got a painting in my living room from one of my favorite artists named John Hairston, of Almost Famous. And that painting costs more than the Broadway show. So, it's whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, we're comic book budgets.
Comic book budgets. So yeah, there's not a lot of news just other than
So
some books.
Batman and
Spawn.
Spawn.
Because I mean, realistically, who has any question about how that turns out? But whatever. No, I don't think anybody's
Listen,
like,
I
how's
bought
that
every
gonna work?
Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover, and Batman Judge Dredd, so
Those were fun. And even that weird Batman Elmer Fudd one was like,
what? Yeah, I don't know that. That's terrible.
oh, did you not?
Were they hunting Wabbit the whole time?
Yeah, dude.
No. Well, Warner Brothers.
Well, it was part of Tom King's like mid run, like they were doing this whole Looney Tunes crossover, and they had a thing where Batman and Elmer Fudd teamed up, but there was also a thing where like
Like the Coyote and the Joker?
well, they
No.
Oh no, dude,
That's
they did about everybody, like every
oh
random,
gosh.
like a foghorn leghorn and somebody. It was just like it was a
I'll
thing.
say, I'll say, I'll say, yee.
So
There you
that's
go. People didn't know they were going to get Looney Tunes
no. So
impressions.
this isn't. We just enjoy talking to each other. Sorry, everybody.
I know it.
Um, but so let's talk about our polls. Like, let's talk about the stuff
Awesome.
that you actually enjoyed this week. So, I'll let you start off. Like, let's get your polls for the week.
Okay. Well, I hate to admit it, but you picked the best DC book that came out. I struggled. I usually try to, when I do comics, I usually try to pick one Marvel, one DC, one independent, a number one in my book of the week. And I'm sorry, but I had to leave my DC books out this week. I
Which
did get the Dark Crisis Wonder Woman tie-in, which the Wonder Woman story wasn't that good, but the Martian Manhunter mini at the back, written by Dan Waters, the same guy who did Homesick Pilots and that creepy Batman adjacent book about the 10-eyed guy,
oh yeah,
Arkham Order, whatever. So he writes a little Martian Manhunter that was good, but we're just gonna. I'm not even gonna mention it. So this book came out last week, and it's from Image Comics. It's The Dead Lucky. So I don't know if many people know, but you guys are pretty familiar with Radiant Red and Radiant Black,
yeah.
which I know you guys talked up pretty good. But so they have their own within Image called the Massive Verse, which is like their own universe of superheroes and villains that are intermixed. So Radiant Black is included in that. Rogue Sun, which is another great book. And matter of fact, the first trade of that came out. Anybody should read that. It's really good, really good. And then they just created Dead Lucky, which is this. This is issue 2, just came out. The Dead Lucky is pretty cool. It's about this girl who comes back from a war, and she has severe PTSD. She's lost people that are very close to her. She keeps her dog tags and she rubs her dog tags. But at the end of issue 1, you realize that um, she has some type of power that two of the people she lost is with her, like electric ghosts. They're like ghosts, but they're like electric or whatever, and it powers through her. Um, Her character, interestingly enough, is connected to Chinatown in San Francisco, and her family is Chinese Mexican Chinese American. So um, it's really pretty cool. So they run a restaurant that's like a fusion restaurant that mixes
I was
Chinese,
about to talk about that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, Chinese Mexican American food, and that's the restaurant that they run. And she helps in this restaurant.
What's it called?
I don't know what it's called. The restaurant. I have to look. I have to look it up.
Okay, so just on
Go
that note,
ahead.
my favorite one of my favorite restaurants in the world is a place in Richmond, Virginia called Juan Gonzalez.
I've heard you talk about that.
And so like you're saying this and I'm like, Juan Gonzalez?
The
But
cool
yeah,
thing, Hector, I don't know. I have to look up, find out what the name of it is.
no, no problem.
The neat thing about this is that her character, when she becomes this character, when these powers take over, her mask looks like a Day of the Dead mask, and somehow she is combined with this the used to be her ex. It is her ex boyfriend or whatever, has created like this robot suit. So um like a like one of the like a Jaeger type deal type thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
she gets inside this suit, and her people that are with her through the electric whatever, they talk to her through this suit. So not only is it it's really cool because it is a fusion of Mexican her Mexican heritage with the Day of the Dead and the like robots fighting monsters, which is an Asian culture. It's really cool, and I'm really enjoying the book.
Do you have it with you?
I do.
Will
Hmm.
you hold up a copy of it just so people can see the dead
Dead
lucky?
Lucky.
Okay. Sweet
And it's
action.
issue 2 by Image. I'm sure you could get a hold of issue 1 and issue 2. The cool thing about this is in
It's
the
not like
back.
Image prints a lot of issue 1s or anything.
Oh, yeah, all bazillions. The cool thing is, and I love this, is of course they do a thing about, has this triggered you? Do you have PTSD? Are you an American veteran who needs help? They do all that kind. They put that in the book. But at the very back, there are 2 recipes from the restaurant. And I love a
Shush.
comic that gives rest. Yes, I'm like,
Shush.
dude,
That's
I'm
not
making
awesome.
this. I know. So yeah, so that would be that's my independent for the week.
Okay.
Um, my I want to talk about Daredevil, but I know you're going to talk about Punisher.
Go ahead.
Um,
Do you think? Do you think?
so Daredevil's on issue 3. I know that Chris has been high on Daredevil. I know you guys had a little bit of the Devil's Reign thing gave a sour taste in your mouth somehow. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't fresh. But go. Do you think?
Okay, so this is issue 3 of Daredevil, and Daredevil he is starting to take over the Fist, right? So he is trying to recruit people to help him. He went to Officer Cole, who was prominent in the first, Chip Zdarsky's first run, and he also went to Luke Cage. Luke Cage goes to see the Stromwins, which were the ones that I thought Kingpin killed one of them, but apparently he didn't. He just maimed them pretty darn bad.
He
The
killed
2 rich,
somebody that was just their friend.
right? Yeah,
That was the bathtub thing. I remember that one.
right. So, oh yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, that book was really
But
good.
that was a masterpiece of an issue.
Oh yeah, it was. So the Stromwins meet with Luke Cage about some housing issues, and they basically said, "No, you work for us. We were easy on the Kingpin." And Luke Cage is like, busts stuff up and says, "No, that was the Kingpin. I'm real power." And that'll fade in. It basically allowed Daredevil a chance to feel like he could leave New York because he feels that Luke Cage is going to take care of New York. Okay. But he is attacked by a member of the Hand, a lady who I think had some dealings with Elektra in the past. And
She also popped up in one of Elektra's books recently.
yeah, so you read this.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
read it.
Oh yeah. So, and basically she's like, the Fist is part of it will be part of the Hand, but it's going to hurt. It's going to take some heavy losses. And we have our person, our beast who is, and he's like, and then that's when she tells him that Frank Castle is running the Hand, and he's like, "Oh no!" And basically, he goes and gets Foggy and says, "You're coming with me, and you're never leaving my side," because he's afraid Foggy will, I guess, be killed or whatever. So, yeah. So, and then I don't know. We'll talk about Punisher when you get to it. My not my new number 1, but my book of the week that I would say for myself is a book called Do a Power Bomb. This is issue 3, and I don't know.
We didn't have issue 3 at my shop, dude.
Have you
I
read
wanted,
issues 1 and 2?
Yeah.
This book is right now is going down as probably one of my favorite of the year. And again, it's Daniel Warren Johnson. I got suckered into that stupid Jurassic League thinking that he was going to write and draw everything. And guess what? Neither. He helps write it and draws a cover. I felt like I was cheated. But anyway, this is him. He does it all, writes and draws. And issue 3, I will not spoil it. But if you are a fan of big time wrestling, you should be purchasing this book because it is such a glorious tribute to wrestling. Heels, the stars, it's just amazing. And for those of you who don't know about the book, it is a young girl whose mother was a wrestler and was killed in the ring on accident. She was accidentally killed in the ring while fighting by a heel named Cobra Sun. She is offered a chance to go fight in this otherworldly tag team championship where the winner gets to bring somebody back from the dead. That's what we think. What can go wrong with that? But it has to be tag team. So she has to choose someone, and she ends up choosing the guy who caused her mom's death in the ring. And listen, at the end of issue 2, I was like, oh, I almost cried reading this book.
Oh no, the twist at the end of issue 2 was like, oh,
was just like, and there's a twist in this one too. There's more than one group from Earth fighting.
Oh no.
In this.
Oh no.
And might be another. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil I'm not going to spoil issue 2. I'm just telling this has such heart in it and so much emotion in these books. And you think this is just going to be over the top, wild and crazy, and it is. But the characterization of the heel, who isn't who you think he is, isn't what you think he is, and the daughter who's going to fight this to bring her mom back. It's just, I love it. Yeah. I can't wait for you to get issue 3. It just keeps getting better.
And that's the thing, like the whole DC and Marvel showing up on 2 different days thing at shops really throws me off because like there's days I really want something specific Marvel, and I actually, not plugging the podcast, Ron, but like my pull list has gotten a lot thicker because I'll go ahead and commit, because for the longest time I wasn't actually running a pull list because I was getting books from multiple shops.
Yeah, and you try to especially during the COVID thing, you try to keep everybody in business.
And the other 2 shut down.
Oh man.
Eventually they did, and but like, so my pull list is pretty chunky, but still, like, I'll put something on there and then forget, or I'll like buy one issue, and this, like, by issue 2 I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it on my pulls, but I really wish I had.
Right. Yeah, this one's great. And this, by the way, Hector, is the only comic book, we talked about this off recording, about buying stuff to give away. I'm actually buying this duplicates of this, and I have a friend, the guy who helped design Harley Quinn face for me, who loves wrestling. I'm buying this for him, so I get an issue for me and I get an issue for him. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
So my last regular book, that's instead of my new number 1, is a book I was super psyched about, and so much so that I sent Hector a copy. Had to give him one. It is Fantastic Four Full Circle. So this is a hardback right now, and I think I think it's about $25. I got the 1 in 3,000 preview dust cover limited edition just because I'm a Fantastic Four fiend. But this is a long story that is drawn and written by Alex Ross in a Kirby-esque style. And it literally takes 2 or 3 aspects of like issue 41 of the Fantastic Four and another later issue of Fantastic Four, and completes a story that, I mean, it was complete when it was told, but there's definitely, when you go back and reread the old issue, there was room for more story to be told. And that's what it does. It completes a story that was originally started by Kirby and Stan Lee. So the cool thing that I like about this, of course, Alex Ross has always painted everything, and this is a completely different art style. He did a completely different style of art. So it's not painting. I read up on it. I can't remember what it is, but the book is, parts of the book are really psychedelic, funky. It's old school comic book. So it doesn't, I mean, like, the Thing is saying like terms that you would use in the 70s or late 60s. So it's like, hey, Torchhead, your ever loving blue-eyed thing. And
the fact he was making a Dagwood.
Yes, I loved that. And I'm like, Nobody's going to know what that is. I mean, who knows what a dagwood is? So you guys listening probably don't know what a dagwood is. It's a humongous sandwich that was made famous by a cartoon in the uh, Saturday or Sunday paper called Blondie. And her husband's name was Dagwood, and he would make a sandwich that was humongous. Yeah. So, but anyway, it's beautiful. It's even if you don't follow the story, because the story, if you're not a real diehard Fantastic Four fan, you won't know who these characters are. The story is complete, but as a fan of the Fantastic Four, it's amazing. But it's worth it just to look at because I think it's beautiful, and it doesn't look like your typical Alex Ross, because I know a lot of people get Alex Ross fatigue. I mean, he's doing covers for like everything, and but yeah, there you go. That was my main ones. There's so many more that I could choose from, but those are my main ones. The ones I thought were newsworthy. What
I had a
about you,
few. I had
Hector?
a few that definitely didn't make the newsworthy, but were still really good. There wasn't.
I know, me too.
I've been also heavily reading, and I think I mentioned this on the last pull list, but I've been heavily reading Spy Family, the manga, and
Okay, yeah, I've got to watch the show now.
uh, watch the show, but watch it. Personal recommendation: watch it in Japanese with subtitles,
I know.
because the voice actors on that for the Japanese are like I haven't even heard. I've not
You're
even heard the
extremely
English.
emotional, huh?
I've not heard the English, and I'm sure they're great. I've been at shows with the English people, but like I've never heard their work. But
Gotcha.
um, like
That's
the more
it's a great premise. I mean, it's
oh dude,
fantastic premise.
like, and that's the thing, like where if you watch the show to where the show currently is, like it's crazy enough. They hadn't got to the dog yet. Once they introduced the dog in the books, and like the dog can see the future thing, that's just like even better.
Okay,
Um,
so now here's the deal. There was I guess last year before last, Netflix put out a cartoon, and I can't remember what the heck the name of it is, but this kid finds these, and it's so funny and so neat, finds these like little rocks or stone, and they're like stones, and each stone gives each person that gets one a superpower. And it's really funny. And the dog gets one around his neck, and the same thing. He can see the future, but he has no way of telling anybody what he's seeing. So he has to act on his own and try to get people to do what he wants them to do because he knows the future. And that about the baby being able to understand what the dog is, but not really understanding.
yeah.
I love
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
I can't remember
It's
the name of that sucker, but it was
no,
good.
that totally sounds interesting, but no, I don't remember it either.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all right, so let's go through the pile. First off, I'm gonna hit Sword of Azrael #2. Um, Still sticking with this. I'm a sucker for like biblical Azrael, like when he's like about some God stuff and not just trying to be Batman, but like, and there's a lot of good stuff in there where they're saying uh what they were doing was twisting the truth of God and they were manipulating it and stuff like that. So I appreciate stuff like that because, a lot of times he's just labeled as, the psychopathic religious person. But this one, and they're doing a lot of distinction of, no, here's what the gospel says. This is wrong. And there's parts where the Azrael programming that they put into him, because like they've made this more of a Assassin's Creed type thing. That the persona of Azrael is programmed into him subconsciously,
Got you. Okay.
and which is a deeper take on it than we've seen before in some areas. But he's come across another girl who's also had the same programming.
Was she the
Um,
same girl from issue 1?
yeah.
Okay.
So that girl, like he's still trying to save her, and Vengeance is still trying to take her down.
Vengeance.
And but I think it was the first panel of episode or of issue 2. She's like, first of all, my father forgives you for breaking his back.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I got issue 1 and I have issue 2. I just haven't read it.
Yeah. And that was the thing. She's like, my father forgives you for breaking his back. And it's just it just plays out, but getting to have a kind of a knockdown drag out between Vengeance and Azrael is great, but also they delve deeper into some of these new characters they've introduced. But I'm enjoying the conflict, the layers of the mind, and one of my favorite things is when Azrael when Jean Paul Valley is delving into the Ezreal persona just within his mind, he kind of portals in there at some point. And when he portals into there, he portals in through a biblically accurate angel,
Oh,
like with all the
really?
wings and
Like
eyes and everything
like the
else.
bizarre thing. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so like
Not the little
I
thing on the top of the Christmas tree, the little precious moments Christmas
no
tree topper.
like biblical angels,
Yeah.
and like I know that there's going to be some Batman people reading this like, what is that? I'm like, that's what an angel
That's
looks like biblically.
look it up, man. Yeah.
Look that up. So overall, it's if you like Azrael and if you like Vengeance, which if you're not aware is Lady Bane that came from the Joker miniseries,
Yeah. Genetically
maxi series,
engineered
yeah, genetically engineered clone daughter of Bane
Bane.
that he has
Yeah.
now accepted and commissioned into the world, who's now working for the Knights of Templar. Cool. Um, so
That's a
that,
lot, man.
that's a lot, man. So there's that. Um, I am staying on this book, and I will probably be on this till it's over. But Poison Ivy.
Oh,
Um,
it's gonna be. It only has like one issue left, I think.
yeah, I know it's coming close, man. Um, which DC book were you saying was the one that you wanted to do?
Well,
That
actually, I forgot that you had Poison Ivy. I liked that. That's Poison Ivy has been my favorite DC thing going right now.
yeah, dude.
It
I mean,
is the best villain comic book. I mean, the Joker book was great, but that wasn't a villain. It wasn't about the Joker. That was a
this is a
Jim Gordon book.
this is a legit villain book, and and you see Ivy's like struggle. Am I a villain, not a villain type situation, but like she literally wants to decimate the world, and she's going about it pretty well. And like I honestly hope that we're going to be able to bounce back from this.
I knew
um
that. I knew Amazon would be the end of everything.
Bro, and so
You
not
know what
not
I
the
mean? She goes
um
and works at. She goes and
that,
works at the.
that's why you can't get 2-day prime shipping right now, um because
It's
of
all the
Poison Ivy.
spores.
So there's not a major spoiler or anything, but part of the plot line is because she's trying to spread these spores around the world that will destroy the world in a timely manner. She goes to work at Amazon,
But they
and
don't
as
call
a
it Amazon.
they
They
don't call
call it something else. But you know it's what it is.
so she goes to work at Amazon, and she's just implanting the spores into every piece of tape on the boxes, and it's just like,
Nice.
and like there was just like one panel then there that like literally just it was such a simple phrase, but it was beautiful, and it's like on my Instagram and everything, but it's just like it just said I love you and I want to come home to you. And like
Mm.
just reading that, I'm like, that was like a nice little water drop on my soul. I'm like, I feel that. And
I think the last two issues they've really done a lot trying to like she's been touched by humanity, the goodness in humanity, because that's the thing when at the end of that stupid joke, not Joker War, what the heck was it? Fear State, when they had separated Poison Ivy as two different characters, right? They reintegrated her and she lost her connection to the green. And this time she's like, I'm out to destroy humanity. But the last two issues, like where they do like the lady working outside with the lady
yeah,
fixing up the
and
garden.
she got lost spending the whole day just doing yard work and was happy. Yeah,
Yeah. And then this time, she's like, oh, I got to make sure I can infect her. Is having a human touch. Um, I think that's where and then the villain. I don't know who the guy who the Green Man.
yeah, he's like a knockoff evil Swamp Thing.
You think so?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's
Gotcha.
something we've covered before, but I could be wrong.
Really? I don't know who that is.
I think he's that's exactly the best description is
Gotcha.
knockoff evil Swamp Thing.
Hmm.
But this is one of those books. I won't say it's as good as the Harleen book, in some capacities, but I feel like the Harleen book. This is one I'll go back and buy in hardback just to be able to like
Yeah.
pull out and flip and read through and everything like that.
It's definitely one of the better things out right now.
Oh,
This would be in my top 10
100%.
of the year, easy, probably. Easy would be
As it's
probably.
going and as the way the year has gone, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
it'll be
It's
it'll
been
be there for me.
it's been slim pickings.
Spencer Pickens. And just to echo you, and I know this isn't your Fantastic Four, like,
Yes, it is. It first appeared in like 347, 348 or whatever issue.
yeah. But the Fantastic Four proper is in the book this time, though. Um, so that's good. But uh, continuing on the thing from a couple years ago, where Las Vegas was an annex of hell, and Doctor Strange was there with all that. There's some demonic entities stuff going on around with a priest that can grant wishes, and this Fantastic Four team of Spider Man, Mister Fix It, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine fighting some demonic Danny DeVito in the middle of Las Vegas.
It is a demonic Danny DeVito, 100%.
He looks like Danny DeVito, absolutely. Um, and and as the thing, as we've said so many times in the pull list, it's Mephisto.
He goes, yeah, he goes, are you Satan? No. I mean, because that was always the thing, right? They make Mephisto and they're like, oh, it's not really Satan. We don't want to get everybody riled up.
So, and that was just what Padels, and I put it on my Instagram, but like that he's like, is this not Satan? No, it's Mephisto. He's the Lord of Hell. He's like,
yeah,
not Satan.
Yeah, how many hells are there?
13. I mean, it's just bananas, and it's fun. Like Chris will often say, "Oh, I just needed a fun read," or what. This is that.
I hope that the priest, we get to see more of him after this is over. I hope they don't strip his powers away, because I really like his character. And it's go ahead, Hector.
No.
Well, it's it's not like a kid, a teenager who gets his powers and grows into those powers. It's like a grown man all of a sudden realizes, oh my gosh, I have powers. And I don't know how to use them. I don't know what I'm doing, but he wants to do it for good. He's definitely, I mean, and his origin is a little bit, we'll let that go at that. But the thing about it is that,
that was the creepiest part of book one.
You choose to be good, like Hellboy chooses to be good. So, yeah.
But I've had fun with that overall. And then for my last standard one, it was between this or Batman. And I'm running with this just because.
Well, it's a Marvel book because I see Punisher on, or I see the Black Panther on the back.
It was this or Batman, and I was loving the Batman stuff just because it was heavy with Zur-En-Arrh. Zur-En-Arrh, and that's my jam. I love Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. There's literally a baseball bat beside my front door that has Zur-En-Arrh carved into it.
At least it doesn't have barbed wire around it and says Lucille. We're okay.
Yeah. No, that's that's my bat of choice. But there's a Zur-En-Arrh Batman thing. But I've been reading this Punisher series since the gate because somebody recommended it. But this is the counterpart to what you were saying, that Frank Castle is running the hand, and part of the plot line is that they were manipulating the Punisher into running the hand because they could bring his wife and kids back. And found out recently you can't take them out of the hand compound or they die. And that, and that every time they try to resurrect his kids, it's a horrible outcome.
That's just terrible.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
Yeah. But this whole issue is just Ares pontificating on his deity level and smacking the snot out of Frank Castle. And it's just, if you want to see the Punisher get batted around like a Spider-Man bank robber, it's about where it's at. And also getting to see the Punisher kind of hold his own every now and again with the God of War. But it's just, now, and this is also the dialogue in it. If you are super sensitive to spiritual parallels and stuff, you're going to be offended / annoyed at this, because Ares makes a lot of father-son deity offspring situations where he makes,
I noticed that too. I was like, oh, that's really tiptoeing there.
It is tiptoeing. You've got Ares making some Jesus references into being like the son of a god and stuff like that. It's just fun. if you like the Punisher and that kind of carnage is your deal. But the books line up because at the end of uh, Daredevil,
You're
he goes,
at the end of Punisher.
yeah, Punisher finds out, or Daredevil finds out that Frank is doing this at the end of Daredevil. At the
Correct.
end of this, Daredevil shows up to confront him, and that's
Yeah.
like the cliffhanger with it.
The only
So
the only problem with that whole deal is that the Punisher book came out a week ago and Daredevil came out this week. I
yeah,
mean, line the books up. But
and
um
they've been off on the publishing of Punisher and stuff for a minute anyway. Um,
well, uh yeah, and the whole entire DC Dark Crisis thing has jacked everything up too because the books don't make any sense if you read certain books, right? But I wanted to say about that Punisher book, something that I liked is whenever they do a flashback in the Punisher, the artist it changes, the art
yeah,
style changes completely, and I really enjoyed out of this being we're getting some real Frank Castle history. I mean that is new to me. Um,
I've never seen teenage Frank Castle and how his children actually were like brought into the world and how their marriage started and stuff
Yeah,
like
but
that.
I feel so sorry for Frank with the kids and the creepy. The hand is. I mean, we're gonna. It's coming to a showdown. The hand and the fist and the foot or who? No, that's out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I can't remember whoever. You know, all these, all these heroes running all these villainous clans. I don't know. I'm just. It's gonna happen.
Well, dude, like I was that was my favorite part of the story up until a point was when Frank finally turned on the hand and like
Yes,
and chopped like hand commander in half or whatever. But then she just like squished right back
I
together.
was
It's
like,
just
what? That was creepy. I was like,
it,
oh.
I was like, well, dang it, there goes that story resolution. Um, but I mean, it was a mess, but it was good. So
Yeah.
those are my good pulls. And I like at one point I also picked up I Am Batman, whatever the current one, just because it had featured Renee Montoya, and I love the question. And there's a few others that were just kind of like, oh, I'll check you out. But yeah, that's the big things. Uh,
Yeah. Those are
so
my faves.
so what was your other book you wanted to highlight for
My
this?
new number one, I got Midnight Suns issue 1. Uh, I just picked it up. I went through and looked. And I said, "Well, that looks fun." So apparently, I didn't know this until today because your phone and your computers are listening to everything that you're talking about or reading. Um, uh, a thing on my YouTube popped up for a Midnight Suns video game coming out.
Yes, it was supposed to be October 7th. Now it's December 7th or
Well,
something.
so I figured, oh, of course, they're going to do a Midnight Suns comic book in order to promo the video game because we always like that. I was surprised at how well I liked this book. I honestly just went into it thinking, I mean, first of all, why is Wolverine on it? I mean, what does that? It's there to sell books, right? But what does he have to do with the Midnight Suns? I then watched the trailer for the video game and he's in it and Captain America's in it, and Iron Man are all these playable characters in this video game. Um, but the cool thing about this is, and I hope Chris picked this up because he needs to pick it up because it starts at the Strange Academy. So it literally is like a Strange Academy tie-in. Of course, we know at the end of the last series, Strange Academy, they all took off. But we know that a new series is starting back up. I can't remember what it's called, like Strange Academy Finals or who knows. But season 2 Strange Academy. But in this issue, it follows one of the students from Strange Academy who is being turned, has to embrace her darkness to help destroy the world. And her teachers, so Brother Voodoo, Magic, Agatha Harkness, Nico, all uh, come into this to help fight this because this girl doesn't want to be bad. And in the midst of all that, the Ghost Rider that isn't Ghost Rider, that's called the Spirit Rider, who's like a female American Indian. I
Yeah,
have no clue who she is.
she just popped up originally, maybe about a year and a half ago, and she hasn't had a lot of appearances. But I picked up her first appearance just on happenstance. So
Well, the characterization looks great. She's in it as well. And Magic goes and gets Wolverine because something is happening. So she goes and gets him, and he's like, "I hate magic." It's so funny. And at the end of it, when there's actually what happens during the book, other magical people who are attuned to magic feel something happening, which is why the spirit rider shows up. And of course, Dr. Doom goes, "This is unacceptable." So Doom shows up at the end, and that's where they leave off. But it's really good. I mean, Blade, the art is well done. I like the story. I like the connection with the students in the class. Of course, I loved Strange Academy. I thought it was so great. Scotty Young did such a good job with that book, and it feels like, because I miss it, it feels like this is like, oh, that's so nice. It'll be fun. So yeah, luckily for me, Swamp Thing ended last week, so now I can add Midnight Suns to my list.
So, because I forgot to say this, because we did mention some D23 and everything with that. As a Fantastic Four person, how have you felt about the casting rumors for Doom? Like, I
Who do
saw a
they say
screen.
Doom? I just saw casting rumors for Sue and Reed are the
Okay,
only ones. So
so
who's Doom?
there's a
I'm an old
leaked,
guy. Odds are
not
I don't even know who this person is.
no. Oh, you do, sir. You
Okay, well,
do.
who is he? Well, quit, Hector. You're killing me. The suspense is killing me.
If the rumors are true, Henry Cavill is Doom.
It seems okay. All right. I would like Henry Cavill. Honestly, I think he would be great, but it seems if they're going to go with such a young cast that he would be too old for Doom. I mean, cuz Doom and Reed, they're neck and neck. They're the antithesis of one another.
Yeah, but I mean, who have you seen for Reed?
Some dude from Gossip Girl.
Uh, I still, from what I saw a panel, and I'm not saying it's reality. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, because
Right.
everybody's making fake stuff.
Right.
What I saw for and it could have been Photoshop. But again, I'm not saying this, but it did have
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill as Doom.
Gotcha.
Was Krasinski still for Reed?
I couldn't. No. He'll never be
Uh,
Reed Richards.
but they also, but it was not his
Not after they
wife for
turned into
Sing.
Fantastic Four spaghetti. That was terrible. It was
Well,
the
that
worst. Oh well.
maybe that was just a sucky multiverse Reed. Maybe he'd be better in another universe. Who knows?
Black
But
Bolt blowing up his head. That was dumb too. Don't get. I'm going to go off on the Doctor Strange movie because we get through this. Don't get me. Okay, I'm just going to stop. Keep going.
okay,
Sorry, Hector.
I'm gonna rattle them out. So the other two that I saw, and this again, not saying
Mhm.
this is credible, but it was, I saw it frequently. Is that uh Seth Rogen for Thing and John Boyega for Human Torch.
No, no, no. Honestly, I think they'd be better off just going with some new. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they
Not.
did that with the last one. How did it turn out?
Do you know what though? I went back and watched that, um, and it was okay.
Did you know that's the only one out of all of those movies that Stan, they would not let Stan make a cameo in?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, they
Well, that
wouldn't
was
allow him
Trank,
to.
wasn't it? Was it Josh Trank? Was that the guy who did that or whatever?
Yeah,
I can't remember. It was. I don't know. I still say the best Fantastic Four movie ever made is The Incredibles. So I mean,
yes,
um,
100%.
so yeah, and the Sue is supposedly the girl from Free Guy.
Yeah, I think I'd seen some stuff too. But the one thing I've seen, I haven't seen the rest of the four casting much,
Mm-hmm.
but like IGN and some other
Gotcha.
big names have
Yeah.
reported Cavill.
Okay.
Um,
I know
um,
it doesn't. It doesn't. But who knows? I mean, I'm so leery. I don't even want. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so bummed out. I really want it to be good. Marvel's first family. Um, oh
Marvel's
well.
first family gets the least respect of all of their properties. Um,
Well,
for
there's good reason. I mean, really good reason. I mean, Galactus is a cloud. Excuse me. That was just horrible. And you've
Galactus
got
is a
Doug
cloud is right up there.
Jones. You got Doug Jones doing the body work for the Silver Surfer, but then you give him Lawrence Fishburne's voice. I mean, just have him do the voice. He did great as Abe Sapien. Why do I mean? Anyway, sorry that we went way off from my
That's
number
okay.
one straight into my delve into the Fantastic Four. Oh well. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Hector. What was
No-
your new number one? I know what it was.
Yep. So my new number one was Batman versus Robin number one, and first of all, I'll say this: this direction for the storyline feels weird to pop into Batman versus Robin so quickly. I know that they just kind of made amends with some of the Robin book, and in the detectives books, they just got literally maybe a month and a half ago. There's a book of him coming back to reconnect with Bruce, and now after all the Deathstroke, uh, the thing with
Yeah,
the Ra's al Ghul being shot and all that does, like they're back at it. But this is literally so 80% of this book is Damien attacking Bruce in the
right.
cave,
Mm-hmm.
and then finding out that there's some dark magic afoot. Now, if you've watched, and I don't think it's your cup of tea per se, um, but the Haunting of Hill House
No. Mm-mm.
on Netflix. Um, uh, as far as like not graphic horror, like just suspense, scary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Haunting of Hill House is kind of a masterpiece, especially for Netflix.
Gotcha.
Um, so there's a character in that show called The Hanging Lady.
Oh no, no,
Uh,
no. Really? Like Zatanna?
Zatanna is 100% taken from that directly.
Oh wow. Are we allowed to spoil this? I mean, it's plate.
I,
I'm spoiling.
I'm spoiling. Sorry. Well, I don't. We didn't say
Good,
anything there.
because that's not the thing I want to talk about in
Oh
this
no, I'm
book.
going to talk about the other thing. That's coming.
Okay.
There will be spoilers, but wait, and
Yes.
I listen. I don't even want it to be spoilers. I want it to be the title of the episode. So, so Matt, we'll talk. But no, so you see, like Zatanna. If you've seen The Haunting of Hill House, Zatanna is fashioned as the hanging woman from Haunting of Hill House with a broken neck, just hanging there screaming. So there's this like, but yeah, I mean it literally, I turned the page and I had jump scare like PTSD from The Haunting of Hill House, because
Oh wow.
literally it looks just like that,
I
minus the
didn't.
the aura.
I have a question before you talk more about it. Did you read World's Finest? Have you read World's Finest?
No,
Okay.
the one with Superman with a Robin sidekick.
No, no, that was like Dark Crisis Superman. No,
That one I read.
Mark Wade has been doing World's Finest. He's like on issue 6 now or
Yes,
whatever.
I've not read that.
Okay. The guy in the very back was is who the villain has been in.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
Well, and I've seen him and stuff. Like I recognized him in Mother Soul
yeah,
and
because they
everything.
pulled him into, didn't they pull him into this whole Deathstroke thing? What the heck was that called? When the death of Ra's al Ghul, it was something called something. I don't remember. It ended up being the dude from
Shadow War.
Markovia. Shadow War. Thank you. Everything's
Yep.
got a war or a shadow or a
Yep. A
fear.
state or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
but it also played heavily into the Robin books too.
gotcha.
Um, but anyway, so this is the spoiler part before
Yes.
we get into this. So, but honestly, if you would have read this, this is 2 weeks old by the time. Just watch and listen. It's okay.
Yes.
So spoiler. Here we go.
Like I haven't been doing it already. I didn't know the
Um,
rules.
who knows rules? Are you up to date with Star Wars movies?
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the cartoons, but I have every movie and
Okay.
every show.
So, one of the things that is considered one of the laziest parts of the Star Wars sequels is the line stating that Palpatine returned. It was a Poe line, and in episode 9, and here's the whole line, and they never give you any more dialogue. Somehow, Palpatine returned.
That
The
was
whole
it.
explanation. That was it. The whole
Gotcha.
explanation.
Okay.
And so this issue is a Palpatine situation because somehow Alfred returned.
That's right. The butler's back. And we don't
Butler's
mean
back.
Tim Curry.
So out of nowhere, in the middle of all the chaos that's going on and everything else, Bruce opens the door and Alfred's there in physical intactness, coming to warn him that Bane has captured Damien.
Yes. Right out of,
Tom King's Run.
City of Bane.
City of Bane.
Mhm.
So Alfred walks into the situation, and they do the thing where he checked all of his memories. Like, he knew only stuff that only Alfred would know, everything lined up. That somehow Alfred has returned, and he's in the kitchen with Bruce. And they're trying to sort this out, but so that it's like Alfred's basically time lapsed from point A to point B. If it's Alfred, whatever else. But because this book is so heavily magic
Right.
themed, that it's totally plausible they could have magicked Alfred back. If they magicked Alfred back, shame on you. Shame on you, DC.
Listen, I mentioned this back when they did the whole entire Infinite Frontier, when they said, "Oh, we've got all these infinites," and they started talking about people who had died had come back, and I was like, "Listen, they're going to bring Alfred back," and I think you might even have said, "Oh, no, they're not," and yes, I agree with you. That reasoning is terrible. However, have you been reading Batman Fortress?
No.
It is. Alfred is in that book, so it takes place before Alfred's death. And there's just something about Batman with Alfred. It is that book is so good, and we miss Alfred. And
Absolutely.
In the last Batman that you said you thought about doing Batman, but instead you did Punisher. Like one of the failsafe is destroying these paintings and everything, and he gets ready to get to Alfred, I guess, and he says nobody messes with Alfred or whatever. But I just think it's funny that they bring back Alfred, but not his mom and dad. I mean, why do we choose Alfred?
Because no Batman reader cares about Thomas and Martha outside of Flashpoint.
That's true.
Alfred has raised us as much as he's raised Bruce.
100%.
Because Alfred has been that consistent father figure my whole life. And being the one that, because if Batman's your hero and he's the one that guides your hero, he's that guy.
Yes.
And his loss, I felt like his loss was a bad loss for where it was, but it also really drove the Nightwing story in a good way. But so as that plays out, you get Alfred back, but as Bruce goes into the cave, Damien's there with a couple of hooligans, one of them which is the kid from Kingdom Come, which is fun.
Which, Tim Hunter or Akeem?
Akeem.
Akeem that's Johnny Thunder. So that's, I think if you watch Stargirl, the guy with the ink pen, the ink pen lets the genie out.
But he, you see that character or a version of that character in Kingdom Come as well.
Oh, do you? I have to go back and reread that. That's another good one.
Oh, that's a great one. But you've got two kids in the Batcave fighting Bruce, and Damien doesn't realize that Alfred's back. And then when he does, he thinks it's a trick and he tries to kill him. And here's the thing. I don't buy that at all, because I think seeing a plausibly viable Alfred in front of Damien, I think that would have stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah.
Especially after just losing his grandfather.
I'm gonna have to go back and reread it. I missed that part. It's just so much happened in that, and I wasn't very familiar with the other kid.
Yeah.
He's from the Book of Magic, I guess, but I never read that. But it could also be due to the fact that definitely Damien is under some influence by the guy at the back. So at the end,
but Damien turns a corner. He's like, "Oh, you think this would get to me? Nice try." And he pulls some knives and he goes to
oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
But it's just I'm just this is the book you bring Alfred back in. This is how you do this. And what even book is that? Oh yeah, Batman versus Robin #1.
Yes.
Like
Mhm.
I'm
Mark
like,
Waid.
that's the book. That's the book you do this in. Okay, but yeah. So somehow Alfred returned, if that's the title. But that's that Poe Dameron. I'm gonna find the meme of
Well,
somehow Palpatine
the
returned.
butler's back. Get you some oolong tea and we'll be all right.
I'm a cross out Palpatine and write in Alfred and just
Did you
let that
catch
be
all
the
the
thing.
things at the feet of the guy in the back page?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, you got to go back and look. So yeah, Damien goes back and is that his grandmother with him? Oh, there went Black
There
Adam.
went Black Adam.
Was that his grandmother?
Yes.
Yeah, I quit reading the Robin mini when they were on Lazarus Island, but yeah, so the final page when he goes in to see the main villain, who Mark Waid brought, it's got a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff thrown at his feet.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that can't be real. But then, yeah. But the thing it says next the House of Secrets, so we also
I
get
know.
some
I'm loving it.
Sandman
So it's
vibes.
really going to be, it's really going to be some magic stuff out there, which not a big, I don't know, because that way they can do whatever they want. And I'm like you, I
That's
got a
lazy
feeling
writing.
Alfred's not back.
Yeah.
I got a
Well,
feeling
and
he's not back.
even if he is back, this is a really crappy way to bring him back. But like, I think we should just miss Alfred. We don't need him back.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I disagree completely, Hector. I love you, which is why we can disagree. And I miss Alfred. I like Batman with Alfred. I don't know, but you're more of a Batman guy than I am. So we should take your take on Batman.
Oh no, don't. Yours is just as valid.
Yeah, but I miss. I guess. Yeah, that's what I'll just say. I miss Batman without Alfred. Balfred instead of Batfleck. It's Balfred.
You miss Balfred. Yeah. Well, I think that does it for us on this episode of the Pull List Podcast. Now that we've officially canonized Balfred. But we don't do this journey of epic podcasting alone. There are lots of other cool podcasts on the Love Thy Nerd network. And if you want to look us up there, please do that. But also check out some other podcasts, find some new things to watch and enjoy. If you want to get a part of the discussion, you can head over to the Discord server and talk to other people. And like Chris, maybe Todd sometimes.
I've been on Facebook more lately.
Yeah. But you can find there's a lot of people that are also passionate about comics over on our Discord server, the Love Thy Nerd community. You'll find some good conversation there as well. But if you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you rate, review, subscribe, do all the things. We are on YouTube now. 700 stars, yes. And it's like, how many cups of soup does it take to get to the moon? Goofy movie.
3 licks.
Or how many cups of sugar does it take?
3 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop.
That's it. But make sure you subscribe, like, do all the things. Go to YouTube, watch our smiling faces as we do this. Make sure you download episodes, do all the things. And we appreciate being your source for comics discussion and analysis and enjoyment. It's been a really cool thing over the past few years, going to cons and seeing people pop up to say, hey, we really like the podcast. And it's just like, huh, okay, that's great. Because it surprises me sometimes just how much people actually listen to it beyond our knowledge. But we greatly appreciate it. I want to say thanks especially for Todd for jumping here today.
Woo-hoo!
Todd did not start his whole day out thinking, hey, we're doing a whole pull list today. We were just going to talk about Identity Crisis, and then it's just like, psych, let's do this.
Cool. I love it.
And it was great, and I miss talking to you as well. So it was
ditto.
It was good, ditto. And we will have to talk about Identity Crisis soon because we got to finish that off. And by the way, that was my first graded book. I got.
I saw.
Identity Crisis #7 was my first graded book, and so that's cool. But thanks again for listening, and remember, kids, read
more comics.
monitor this. This is a game of risk.